We're in the Tompanski Ulis of our republic. Today's episode is about the everyday life of a hunter. We'll try to show you the conditions hunting takes place in during the winter, at the end of November, when it's already freezing outside. Well then, dear viewers, our hunt is starting. And let's head out together with you to face all the problems and hardships real hunters go through. Mountain hunters, especially in weather like this. Enjoy the watch. This is the area where we'll be conducting our hunt, experiencing extreme conditions. Honestly, our goal isn't really about taking part in the hunt with a lucky shot and a dramatic finish. It's about stepping into the shoes of a real hunter alongside you, dear viewers. Testing ourselves under the same conditions he lives and survives in. The first thing we need to do is set up our shelter. It'll be what's called an Olympic tent, sewn from canvas, and we'll put it together now. Here's the tripod being prepared. One tripod pole, then a second. This central longitudinal support pole needs to be completely smooth without any knots or snags. We drive one side pole into the hole, then the second. The tent's already starting to take shape. Well, our shelter is ready. It should protect us from 40 below frosts and biting wind for several days straight. It was hard to find a spot sheltered from the wind. Let's hope it doesn't change direction by evening. Having set up camp and prepared for the climb, we headed out to meet our first day. It'll be a bit shorter for us since we've already used up part of the daylight. There are 3 of us hunters. With me are our guide, Vladimir, and my young namesake, Alexander. Cutting ourselves walking staffs. And off we go, up the climb. Yeah, this year there's so much snow. Oh boy, how are we even going to walk through this? The first tracks of mountain sheep, Chubuku, are already visible. Relying on experience, we plan not to push ourselves too hard on the first day, but judging by the depth of the snow and the steepness of the climb, that's unlikely to work out. Vladimir sketches out a map of the terrain and today's route for us. Despite the cold and the biting wind, spirits are high. A herd of sheep was feeding here. That's reindeer moss, lichen. This is dwarf pine. See, that's how meager their food is. They were probably here yesterday, fairly fresh tracks, but frozen over now, of course. There are 3 Chubuku there. At least we spotted 3 Chubuku. They're feeding over there. Let's see. We'll try to get within shooting range. I see it. So what are we looking at? We don't see anything. Or rather, no one. The Chubuku are long gone. I had a feeling we wouldn't get one today. And through the binoculars, it looked to us like it was a ewe with a lamb. Looks like they managed to feed and moved off beyond the ridge. In the mountains, chocolate is simply an essential thing to have. And again, you've got to carry it inside your coat at this time of year.
We need to get moving or we'll freeze.
Right? That's it. This one spot holds everything. The batteries, the radio, and the headlamp. It's all right here. And there's lunch right there. Our first day is over. We climbed to the top, saw the sheep. But they were gone. But we got up there a little too late. Feeding time was over. Maybe that's why they moved up, or maybe they spotted us. Now we can really say the first day of the hunt is over, and we're all hurrying back to our tent. Our cold tent. We don't have anyone to stoke the fire or cook for us. No warm tent and hot dinner waiting for us down below. We have to do all of that ourselves. Time for the yakut knife to go to work. Usually, our people do it like this. You shave the wood toward yourself. You end up with shavings like these, so that the stove lights well. We don't need any paper or cardboard, nothing like that. See, when you cut it, like this, so it's gotten warmer in the tent now. We can start thinking about food. We've got with us some fish, whitefish, a northern delicacy. Chokerdak whitefish, that's the northernmost district of our republic. It's right in the border of the Arctic Ocean, and that's where this fish was brought from. Well, we're not exactly master fish slicers, but we'll show you how it's done. To make it easier, we start by cutting a small notch here. Maybe we'll even do it like this. There. First, we need to take off the skin. Usually you let it thaw just a little. So the skin comes off cleanly. Well, let's see how it goes. There, one. And it keeps going from there. And we're showing off the strengths of the yakut knife. That's it, fish is cleaned. See, the fish is frozen solid. And this is a yakut knife. People cut the fish different ways. Some start from here in small pieces. Well, we'll probably cut it starting from here. I'll say it again, the fish is frozen solid. The fish is completely frozen. It needs to thaw just the tiniest bit. If you've never had yakut-style frozen fish shavings, stroganina, let me tell you, you've missed out on a lot in life. Here we've got salt and pepper. You don't need anything else. Our northerners say that when it's cold, you're supposed to eat stroganina, right? They shave meat the same way, and fish too. They say it somehow makes up for the cold. And that's why they don't freeze. Well, us too, for that matter. This is our second day of hunting. Today, we decided to head up along the gully. Yesterday, we went to tackle the ridge and walked along the ridge line. Today, we decided, well, not exactly to climb, but to go along this gully instead. There's a stream, a little river that flows into it here, and we'll be watching both sides. But time will tell what we end up with. The temperature's also close to 40 below, and the wind is very strong, almost like yesterday. We're standing in the gully right now, so it's still relatively okay. See, but out there it's very, very windy. From time to time, we switch places. It's hard for whoever's in front to break trail through the deep snow. A completely fresh musk deer track. There. It walked through this morning, went that way, then came back. There, look how it climbed up here. Up such a steep slope. There, it climbed up, and right there, it headed off. There are already tracks over there, and over there we saw it went down further, came down there, and fed around there. Those are this morning's tracks. It went off in that direction. Fresher over there, fresher. This one's already gotten a little frozen over. Well, this one's from just this morning, an hour, maybe 2 hours ago. Right at the lower part of the stream, it was very tough going. The snow was literally knee-deep. But here, it's a little, the stream bed widens out, and then, no matter how cold it gets, water keeps flowing down from above, seeping through, forming an ice crust. See, here, the snow's only about 10 centimeters. Over there, you'll find rocks. That's tough walking too, but where there's an ice crust, that's the good part. So now we've got an icy road ahead. You can see about 100 meters ahead. That's the ice crust there. No matter how cold it gets, water always finds its way out. We're about to cross it now. I've got a couple of studs on my soles here. Let's see how much they help. We've got a 5-minute break. While we're at it, a few words about the gear and equipment used in mountain hunting, especially in weather this cold. Deep snow. Well, this here is what's called a tri-VD pole, essential gear. Div-VD means you're on your own 2 feet. Tri-VD means you've got a pole too. This pole needs to be a bit longer than a regular walking stick, but if I stand up, you can use a pole like this. Even a bit longer works too. When you're walking normally, you can hold it like this. But once you're on a slope, you end up having to plant the pole either below you. That's when you really need it to be a long pole so it's comfortable to use. And if you're grabbing higher up, you lean on it like this instead. This pole here. And sometimes when you're descending quickly, you can do it like Baba Yaga, you know. You slide down fast, your feet skid, and you brace the pole against the ground, against the rocks, against the boulders. Or rather, so it holds a rock in place. Like this. It slides, just like this. This thing, it's a really essential item. Well, like I said, right now it's around minus 32, minus 40 out. Right now, down in the gully, there's no wind. So it feels a bit warmer, probably around minus 32 or so. Now the hat, so the wind doesn't blow through it, it shouldn't be knitted. It needs to be dense like this one. And a hood is definitely a must, of course. Even so, this hat still gets blown through. Here I've got a second hat. This one's exactly the breathable woolen kind. But this hat, is what we call the special forces kind. This is a slit for the eyes. Normally I flip it back like this and it works as a scarf, protection from the wind. You pull it up like this, but after about 5 minutes everything freezes up here, ice forms. So you keep pulling it back down to warm your face. That's about the hat. When it's cold, I pull it up over this other hat. It doesn't stretch. It's a dense hat. There. And here we've got, well, we try to wear all natural materials because all these synthetic things, sure, they're good, but only down to a certain temperature. At minus 40, they stop delivering on any of their properties. So here, this is a jacket. A regular jacket, and here I've got a vest. This vest here is made of real fur. It's mink fur, but it was made for me from an old woman's fur coat, turned into this vest, and it really saves you from the cold. It also breathes really well, so it doesn't make you sweat. There. And then further in, here's a sweater and... double thermal underwear. There. So what do we have in here? This is our warm little storage spot. Here I've got a camera. And here I've got, in case we come down the mountain late, a headlamp and of course lunch. All of that stays in a warm spot. Ah, smells delicious. Like this. There's no point carrying it in your backpack. The batteries freeze up and then they don't give any light at all. That's why we carry it in here, inside. Our warm clothing, just like that. Well, that's it. Of course, giving a well. 100% foolproof recipe is impossible. The weather's always different. You need to dress so you're neither too hot nor too cold. Not too hot so that when you're climbing, you don't sweat too much. And when you're sitting and wait sometimes during lunch, if you've worked up a sweat, you freeze instantly the moment you stop. So somehow you have to dress right in between. Footwear. We've tried different kinds of boots. Natural materials, of course. Our unti boots work with that harder sole, but they're not very durable. You could tear them in a single climb. God forbid you end up without footwear up on the mountain. So we wear this kind instead. It needs to be this kind of warm, stiff, with a hard sole. And of course, this footwear should ideally hold and support the ankle joint firmly. It's really easy to twist it up there. There's footwear like this on the market today, but it's not made for our kind of temperatures. I've seen a lot of it in stores, but right now, in it, your feet would simply freeze.
Не производится. Я видел в продаже много такой обуви, но вот сейчас бы просто-напросто в ней ноги бы замерзли.
So this kind of footwear here is more or less okay. Of course, the sole freezes solid, loses its flexibility, but in the mountains, that's not the worst problem you'll face. But the grip is good, doesn't slip. We tried some other footwear too. There's a new kind, foam-like, you know? People call it the instant noodle boot. But you can't actually walk in it. It's incredibly slippery. And it freezes solid too. It can crack. That's how it is. For your hands, we put on either warm gloves like these. I've got spare gloves like these in my backpack too. God forbid I drop one down into a ravine or something. Or, well, they get wet or something. But just in case, I've got a second pair of gloves in my backpack. A lot of people wear what's called a big warm mitten. Mittens, and inside them, thin gloves, Chinese ones or something. When they shoot, they take them off, then shoot in the thin gloves. But even in those, your hands, of course, don't freeze. Well, that's how it is. That's our whole outfit. That's how it goes. It was feeding here, right? See, it was feeding right here. We keep walking and carefully scanning the nearby mountains. And suddenly, off to the left on the ridge, we spotted a Chubuku. It had already noticed us and was looking our way. The rangefinder's frozen. We'll have to judge the distance by eye. That's a ram with horns. I won't say it's a trophy specimen, but it fits within our license. The sheep is moving off. We need to shoot. We figured it was about 500 meters. Lower, lower. That's it. It's gone. As I understood it, we made two mistakes. Realizing that, of course, came later. The first mistake, being down in the gully, we forgot about the wind, and up top, the wind is extremely strong. The second mistake, we misjudged the distance. Our eyes deceived us. That happens a lot in the mountains. It was probably around 120, 150 meters. Well, let's head back. Our second day is also coming to an end. We're not putting a full stop on it, though, since we've still got the way back home. Maybe a sheep will turn up along the way as long as there's still light. Today's tactics haven't given us results yet. Right now, we're heading back to base. We need to build a fire. Chop firewood and chop ice. Water only exists here in solid form. The stove's burning. Soon our shelter will be warm. We're rearranging things, figuring out where we'll sleep here. Well, down below, everyone usually knows how it's done. There's either dry branches, or in the old days, people used to lay spruce boughs down here. For softness, a bedding like this. This we carry with us. A wolf hide. It's enough for one person, very warm. So we lay it down here, and that's it. Ready to sleep. It's warm in here. Oh, that's nice. Whew, sleeping bag. There are lighter ones, more or less. And there's also these thick, real winter ones. No frost can touch you with these. There. In the morning, you really don't want to crawl out into a tent that's gone cold, even though you have to keep the fire going all night and then head up into the mountains in weather like this. Well, this is our third day of hunting. Today we decided to split into two routes, meaning two groups. It improves the odds of getting something. And second, sheep fleeing from one group might end up running toward the second group, and the other way around too from that side. Well then, same weather, same wind. Onward to conquer the peaks again. Well, we've climbed maybe about 300 meters. It's freezing. The air's thin. And we constantly have to walk against the wind because we don't want the Chubuku catching a human scent. So we're walking and constantly watching,
Открываются новые
As new ones open up, gullies, ridges,
хребты,
basically
новые
new
места
spots,
за
ledges,
высоких
cliffs. You
постоянно.
always have to keep watching.
Дышать, конечно,
Breathing is
тяжело.
definitely hard, of course. The skin on my face has gone completely leathery
Дело
from the headwind.
встречного ветра.
Well, we've got to keep moving. No one's going to carry us up to the top.
Поднимет.
Onward. Up here now, there's also a snowstorm blowing. No matter which way you turn, it still gets you with snow. It hits you right in the face. My face is wet, and it just makes it colder still. Yeah, the higher you go, the stronger the wind gets. And to reach the very top, we've got just one more push left, maybe 150, 200 meters. But it's getting there. Yeah, You just have to walk right along the ridgeline itself,
По самой вершине.
because on both sides it drops off really steeply, and walking along the ridge in wind like this seems really risky to us. But let's just wait it out here for now.
Ну, сейчас еще отбежимся.
We'll see if visibility allows. Up on the summit, it's simply impossible to be out there. We found some rocks here,
Нашли.
took shelter between two boulders.
Укрылись между
In here,
сюда.
the wind can't reach us. We'll wait it out here.
Здесь.
Maybe have some lunch. We'll wait until we start getting
Пока не
cold.
начнем мерзнуть.
Maybe
Возможно,
the sheep that move back and forth around here,
туда-сюда
feeding,
кормятся.
might happen to pass by within shooting
На
range.
расстоянии выстрела.
Well, you never know what Bai and I might throw our way. Well then,
Ну что ж,
we did decide after all
все же
to climb up to the summit, and we looked out over that side of our ridge. No sheep.
Нету.
Well,
Вот,
now
сейчас
we're going to have to head back down. It's a shame to give up the ground we fought for.
отдавать
what can you do?
завоеванные позиции. Что делать?
Hunting is just like that. It doesn't always go your way. There's always some hardship.
Трудности.
Luck isn't always on the hunter's side.
Бывает не всегда
Well,
на
that's
стороне охотника. Ну вот.
just how it goes for hunters, especially mountain hunters. Heading down. Well, this is just how we wanted it to go. Together with you, we spent 3 days in these unwelcoming mountains, got a full taste of the extreme conditions, immersed ourselves in the everyday life of a hunter, felt firsthand what a real hunter goes through, what hardships await him out in the field, and what it's like for him far from a warm home and other people. It would probably do many of us good to step away from our familiar surroundings a couple of times a year, to realize that the world isn't just a space for business and isn't limited to an apartment, a car, and an office.
И не ограничивается квартирой, машиной и офисом.
So we don't lose touch and maybe even come to understand what the real world actually is. We'll stay here a little while longer, among these proud, cold mountains. And with that, dear viewers, we say goodbye, farewell, until we meet again.
До новых встреч!